नमामि शरांसा चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले भ्राजमानम्
नमामि शरांसा चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले भ्राजमानम्
यशोदाभियोलुखलाधावमानम् परमृष्टमातां ततो द्रुतगोप्या
यशोदाभियोलुखलाधावमानम् परमृष्टमातां ततो द्रुतगोप्या
नमामि शारांसा चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले भ्राजमानम् रुदन्तं मुहुर्नेत्रं युग्मं मृजन्तं करं भुजयुग्मेन शातङ्कनेत्रम्
रुदन्तं मुहुर्नेत्रं युग्मं मृजन्तं करं भुजयुग्मेन शातङ्कनेत्रम्
मुहुशशुकं पुत्रीरेखाङ्ककण्ठ स्थितग्रैव दामोदरं भोक्तिबाधम्
मुहुशशुकं पुत्रीरेखाङ्ककण्ठ स्थितग्रैव दामोदरं भोक्तिबाधम्
नमामि शारांसा चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले भ्राजमानम् इति दृक्षलीलाभिरानन्दकुण्डे शभोषं निमज्जन्तम् अक्षापयन्तम् तदेशिताग्निषु भक्तैर्जितात्तां पुनः प्रेमतास्तां शतवृत्तिवन्दे नमामि शारांसा चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले भ्राजमानम् वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षवधिं वा न चान्नं गृह्णेऽहं वरेषदपीह ईदन्ते गोपुरनाथ गोपाल बाला सदा मे मनश्शावीरास्तां किमन्यै
ईदन्ते गोपुरनाथ गोपाल बाला सदा मे मनश्शावीरास्तां किमन्यै
नमामि शारांसा चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले भ्राजमानम् ईदन्ते मुखम्बुजामत्यन्तनीलै वृतं कुन्तलै स्निग्धरक्तैश्च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बारक्ताधरं मे मनश्शावीरास्तामलं लक्ष्यलाभै Namami Saramsa Chidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Bhajamana Namo Devo Damodaraya Ananta Vishnu Proshida Prabhu Dukho Jalabhimagna
Namo Devo Damodara Ananta Vishnu Prasila Prabhu Dukha Jalabhimana
Kripa Drishti Vrishtapi Dinam Batanu Grihane Shamamagga Medhakshi Drisha
Vipavishti Vishati Dinam Bhatano Vihane Samamukha Medhakshi Disha
Namami Sharamsa Chidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Bhajamana Kuberatmajo Baddha Murtaiva Jadvat Tayamachito Bhakti Bhajo Krito Cha
Viratmaja Vada Mutaiva Jatva Tayam Chito Bhakti Bhajo Krito Cha
তথা প্রেম ভক্তি শতাং মে প্রযচ্ছ নমক্ষে গ্রহ মেস্তি দামোদরে
Tata Prema Bhakti Sharam Metrajacha Namaste Brahmanisti Damodarena
নমামি সারাংসা চিদানন্দ রূপা লসৎ কুণ্ডালং গোকুলে ভজমানা नमस्ते स्तुदामने स्फुरदीप्तिधाम्ने तदीयोदरायथ विश्वस्य धाम्ने
Namaste Sudhamne Suradipti Dhamne Tadyadarayatha Vishwasadhamne
नमो राधिकाय तदीय प्रियाय नमो अनंत लीलाय देवाय तुभ्याम्
Namo Radhikāy Tadyapriyāy Namo Nandalīlāy Devāy Tubhyam
नमामि सारांसा चिदानंद रूपम् लसत् कुंडलं गोकुले भजमाना नमामि सारांसा चिदानंद रूपम् लसत् कुंडलं गोकुले भजमाना नमामि सारांसा चिदानंद रूपम् लसत् कुंडलं गोकुले भजमाना
Hare Krishna and welcome to all the devotees online. Thank you very much for your attendance and association. We are continuing the 6 limbs of Saranagati, taking shelter of the supreme lotus feet of Shri Krishna. We are covering today's session 4. Om Jnanatimi Vandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasme Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utaparakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute. Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namne. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pastata Distarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So let us first recap what, let's get some feedback, what you took home, what you found interesting from yesterday's session, rejecting things which are unfavorable. Please share in the chat, or if you like, you're most welcome to unmute yourself as well. I've given you that option as well. We covered the first limb, which is accepting things favorable. Yesterday, we covered things, rejecting things which are unfavorable. Madhachana Siddhi says, we should not focus on our bad habits, but instead focus on progress in bhakti and pray to the Lord Srila Prabhupada to help us overcome these habits. Yes. Vidura Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We can test our surrender. How do we test our surrender? How much we surrender in our life is how much we are attached to the chanting of the holy name.
Yes, we can test our relationship with Krishna in every way by our relationship with the holy name. So we can test our attachment to the holy name. We can test our surrender to the holy name.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Acceptez mes obéissances. Toute gloire chez la Shulpad.
There must be a call from Maj, getting blessings. Yeah, so we can test different aspects of our relation with Krishna, our attachment, our surrender, all in relation to the holy name. Very good. Mukund Prabhu says, speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, always referring to scripture, not agitating to others. This is austerity of speech. Jagannath Prabhu says, forgetfulness of Krishna's lotus feet. That is the cause of all suffering. And it says, Hare Krishna, taking shelter of Harinam. Yes, we should really endeavor and strive. Saranagati, taking shelter of Krishna, who has appeared, just like in each age, Krishna appears. So when Krishna appears as Lord Ramachandra, then in that time, everyone should surrender to Lord Ramachandra. When Krishna appeared as Lord Krishna, at that time, everybody should be surrendered to Lord Krishna. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, everyone should surrender to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But because he came as a devotee, he encouraged everyone to take shelter of Krishna, and he came to give Krishna, he came to give the holy name of Krishna. So Krishna's appearance in this age is really in the form of the holy name, and therefore taking shelter, accepting Saranagati as one's goal and objective. That means taking shelter of the holy name. We also covered attentive chanting. Also very, very important in terms of taking shelter. Bafana Prabhu recollects hospital, then walking forward or backwards, but the key is to walking forward. The boat example, 1 feet in one boat and not 2 feet in the boat. Yes, do not shop, issue extent if eating. Astonished by the austerity of speech, never thought of it that way, the things we ought to be speaking about. Yes, wonderful. Thank you for recollecting that, and thank you for all your feedback. Let us proceed with today's session. So in relation to yesterday's session, we talked about rejecting anything not favorable for the Lord, bhakti, and the devotees. Pray to the Lord to overcome obstacles and bad habits. Yeah, same point. Good. So in relation to yesterday's session, Saranagati, so taking shelter of the Lord, is a gradual process depending on our baggage that we have, as well as our intention. How serious are we to surrender to the Supreme Lord? Even if we have bad habits which force us to accept things which are unfavorable, by the power of Krishna's love and the power of the pure devotee's love, we can transform. So in this true story, we're going to hear about how Srila Prabhupada really showered such love, compassion, encouragement to devotees that would fall prey to unfavorable activities. He won their hearts with the power of his divine love.
The story is about Haridas Prabhu, how he joined in Prabhupada's movement. In 1971-72, he was staying in Mumbai, no parents, no dependents. So to maintain himself, he used to wash cars, do tela work, means carry lifts, items here and there. He was around 12, 13 years old boy. He was doing all these things and all. Sometimes he used to go and steal money also, pickpocket, to get money, to maintain himself. When there is no work, he used to do stealing. Then he found when he was stealing, and when he was caught, when he was put into jail, he thought this is the best place. No problem for maintenance. Uta, kapada, makan, everything mil jayega. 3 time ka khana, acha sona, no work because he is a child. So he thought this is the best way. He used to catch purse and go and stand in front of a police person, so that he will catch him and put him into the jail. Or he will get into a railway compartment without ticket and he will go and stand in front of TC, so that they will catch him and put him into the jail. So somehow in 71 or 72 he was put into jail in Mumbai, and that day, every day there will be local task, you have to clean your own area. So he was given the task of cleaning the dustbins. So at that time, Back to Godhead was the one magazine which was in English that was being circulated in India. So there was one magazine dumped in dustbin. So when he was cleaning up that dustbin, he saw one photo of Srila Prabhupada in the back, which had Srila Prabhupada posed like this was there, and one gold Rolex watch was there to Srila Prabhupada. So he thought, this is my target. Next I am going to steal this watch from Prabhupada. So he used to keep targets, what to steal. You have to have some inquisitiveness for you to steal, and the process and all these things. And all. So he was waiting for the opportunity. So after a few days he got released. So he saw the address on the book. So he went to that building that was called Akasha Ganga apartment, where earlier Prabhupada was staying. But Prabhupada had shifted off from there to Juhu land. So when he went there, he was informed, no, everybody had vacated here. They went away to Juhu land. So he went to Juhu land. It was a small hut. It was a forest-full area. So he saw a few devotees there. So when he was standing there, he went to the foreigners. He went and asked them, showing Prabhupada, where is he? I want to meet him. They said, no, no, he's not here. He's traveling. He'll be coming very soon to Bombay. Then they asked him, who are you, all these things and all. Then he started acting like a fake devotee. I am also a devotee. I also know chanting. And they said, okay, you are a devotee, you can stay here. So because he was a small boy and they were all Westerners, because they don't know local language and he is experienced with local language, they kept him in the ashrama. So they were pampering him, they were taking care of him very nicely. So 3 times prasadam was given, and he was also attending to the classes. So slowly he informed them that he was a thief and he was released from the jail. They did not bother. So they said, you be here, take care of yourself, chanting and do some services and all. So slowly in the association of the devotees, he was reforming. He forgot all about stealing. Then he became a devotee. After a few days, they said, you have to shave your head and you have to wear dhoti and kurta. He said, okay. So he was like a small boy, 12-year, 13-year-old, going around getting all the purchases for the temple. Because if you go as a Westerner to a sabji wala, what is 1 rupee? They will say 10 rupees first. So in that way, they were losing more money. So they used to send this boy, you go and purchase, bargain and bring the best things. So he used to go and do all these things and all. So after a few months, he got to know that Prabhupada is in Hyderabad. So there is a Pandal program and Prabhupada is attending here. So Prabhupada had requested all the devotees from other centers to come and join him there. So this boy got to know that Prabhupada is in Hyderabad. So he went to the temple president and he said, I want to go to Hyderabad. Temple president said, no, no, there is so much work here. After that program, Prabhupada will be coming back here. No, we have to get the things ready. Then this Haridas was very adamant. He said, are you going to send me or not? If not, I'll steal the money and I'll go away to that place even if you don't give me permission. So when he is threatening, the temple president said, don't do the stealing and all. I will send you with the group of devotees. So he was also sent with the group of devotees, and there, when he got down, he went to the Pandal area where Prabhupada was about to give a lecture. Yes, he went and sat in front of Prabhupada and offered obeisances, and Prabhupada is seeing him and he is seeing Prabhupada. First time Prabhupada is seeing an Indian boy shaved up with dhoti kurta, and Prabhupada was not aware that this boy had joined. So when he was sitting there, all these things and all, Prabhupada, after the lecture, Prabhupada asked him to come and meet him. So he was taken into the room. So Prabhupada asked him, who are you, where are you from, all the technical details basically. Then he started saying his name is so-and-so and he had been here and he was from jail earlier and he had wanted to steal Prabhupada's watch. That way he had joined ISKCON. Then Prabhupada said, stealing is very bad. You should not steal. Prabhupada removed his watch and gave it to him. From today, you should not steal. Okay, he was doing very nice service. He came back to Mumbai and he was doing nice service and all. So Prabhupada also came back to Mumbai. So his service is every day to go and purchase fruits for the deities and Prabhupada and devotees' kitchen. So sometimes that old habits die hard. So as an young boy, so one day he went out, he saw Cadbury's 5-star advertisement in a big hoarding there. So he became fascinated. So he stole 5 rupees from the purchase. He purchased few chocolates, kept it in his chanting bag, went to ashram, kept it in the deity kitchen. And for Prabhupada's kitchen, he has to go through Prabhupada's room to keep it in Prabhupada's kitchen. He was thinking, chocolates are there, I'm not able to be found because they are in the chanting bag, all these things and all. As soon as he entered Prabhupada's room, Prabhupada was there. Because he saw Prabhupada, he immediately paid obeisances. When he paid obeisances, all the chocolates came out of the chanting bag. So Prabhupada immediately saw and he said, what is this? He could not hide now, he's caught red-handed. So he thought, I'll offer one chocolate to Prabhupada and bribe him so that he will not scold me. He took one chocolate to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, this is sweet. So Prabhupada opened and he ate one bite and he said, what is this? What you have given me? It is not good for us to eat anything outside. So he informs him the importance of eating prasad, the food offered to Lord Krishna. Now you gave me chocolate, I am giving you this halwa, eat this. He ate that halwa, the next moment he forgot about chocolate. He threw away the chocolate and he said, this is the best thing I have heard, I have eaten. So that is the potential. Just by being the association of devotees to the highest category of Prabhupada, He forgot all about stealing, all about chocolates. And see, Prabhupada is teaching by practical example. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Rasavarjam rasopiyasya param drishtva nivartate. By higher taste, we forget lower taste. So in this way, Prabhupada gave all of us different higher taste for all of us. So that we'll be able to hook on to this Krishna conscious movement and engage in the service of Guru and Krishna and make our life successful.
Spread this Krishna consciousness movement. Parama Ananda Kamba. People will be happy. Our mission is to see Sarve Sukhina Bhavantu.
All glories to Halva and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada really knew how to touch devotees' lives and transform them, to allow them to surrender to the process, surrender to his lotus feet. So today we're going to be covering session 4 and the third limb of Saranagati, which is always believe firmly in the Lord's protection. As we surrender to the Supreme Lord, we become more and more convinced, and the conviction that the Lord will always protect us becomes more and more solid. So this faith, conviction, faith means trust in something sublime. So we trust Krishna. A lot of times in the initial stages, we question, will Krishna protect me? Will I make advancement? Will I perfect my life? Will I be able to, completely surrender and go back to the spiritual world? So we question, but the more we surrender, the greater our faith becomes, the more solid our faith becomes, that Krishna will protect. So this belief, this firm belief in the protection of Krishna, this is one sign of Saranagati, and it increases until the absolute level where there is absolutely no doubt that Krishna will protect. So we're going to be covering 4 songs in this category. Avasha Rakshibe Krishna, confidence in the Lord's protection. So the need for protection. This is a natural need. Why? The soul by nature is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. But as we heard Srila Prabhupada in the introduction says that the soul who is eternally existent is put into an environment of non-existence. So the soul is put into a foreign environment, an environment that is temporary. And therefore, our natural inclination is to always have protection, always seek protection of different types. So it's a natural inclination in a conditional stage. Prabhupada in the purport to chapter 9:18 says, Krishna is the ultimate goal of shelter. And therefore, one should take shelter of Krishna either for protection or for the annihilation of his distress. And whenever we have to take protection, we should know that our protection must be a living force. Krishna is the supreme living entity. And since Krishna is the source of our generation, or the Supreme Father, no one can be a better friend than Krishna, nor can anyone be a better well-wisher. So a devotee truly understands this, that there is no one in creation that can be a better friend, a better protector, a better father, a better personality, a better companion than Krishna. Because Krishna is supremely attractive and Krishna has inconceivably wonderful, glorious qualities. Therefore, Krishna is the best person to surrender, to take shelter of. We find even Gajendra in the body of an elephant, he remembered his past association, prayers that he had memorized. And in this way, even though he was in a body of an elephant, he was able to remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he took shelter of the Supreme Lord, and the Lord came to protect Gajendra. In Srimad Bhagavatam 1:15-28, Prabhupada says, the Lord is like the sun, and the sun's appearance means immediate dissipation of darkness or ignorance. And the Lord's appearance within the mind of the devotee can at once drive away the miserable material effect. Lord Chaitanya has therefore recommended constant chanting of the name of the Lord for protection from all contamination of the material world. So we also require protection in this world from the influence. Yesterday was saying that the world is becoming more and more destructive. The influence is becoming worse. So yes, the influence is coming worse, but that just means the impetus to take shelter of Krishna is becoming greater. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is recommending that to be protected from the negative influence of this world, we take full shelter of the holy name. And we can chant the holy name anytime, anywhere, any place, any circumstance, which means we can be protected from any situation, every time, everywhere. Therefore, take shelter of the holy name, and we're protected from all material contamination. We find Maj Parikshit. He took shelter of the glories of Krishna and the holy name of Krishna constantly. Taking shelter of this, he was even protected from death. He was protected from the bite of the snake bird. That even though the snake bird came and burnt him, he did not experience any material death because he had transcended the material platform and purified his life completely. Srimad Bhagavatam 7:9-19. Through parental care, through remedies for different kinds of disease, and through means of protection on the water, in the air, and on land, there is always an endeavor for relief from various kinds of suffering in the material world, but none of them are guaranteed measures of protection. And this is the reality. You can have all varieties of protection and insurances through different mechanical means, different systems, different people and personalities. All of them are fallible. They cannot give you guarantee. Imagine you go to an insurance company and says, can you give me a guarantee policy that when there is a burglary in my house, you will always protect me? They will say, sorry, no guarantee. So this is the nature of this material world. We want a guaranteed form of protection. You cannot get that in the material world in any form or shape. They may be beneficial temporarily, but they afford no permanent benefit. And we're not interested in a temporary measure. We want permanent measure. Despite the presence of a father and mother, a child cannot be protected from accidental death, disease, and various other miseries. No one can help, including the parents. The child depends on the parents for protection. The parents themselves need protection. This is the nature. So it's a foolish society. We seeking shelter of people that need shelter themselves. But Krishna, he doesn't need shelter. He is the ashraya, the shelter of all those that require shelter. Therefore, he is the best personality to take shelter of. No one can help, including the parents. Ultimately, the shelter is the Lord. And one who takes shelter of the Lord is protected. This is guaranteed. So the choice is ours. Do we want to take shelter of infallible soldiers, infallible persons, or the infallible Supreme Personality of Godhead? As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 9:31, Kaunteya pratijanihi Name Bhakta Pranashati, O son of Kunti, declared boldly that my devotee never perishes. Therefore, unless one is protected by the mercy of the Lord, no remedial measure can act effectively. One should consequently depend fully on the causeless mercy of the Lord. Although as a matter of routine duty, one must, of course, accept other remedial measures. No one can protect one who is neglected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we do our best. Just like Draupadi, we gave the example of two types of shelters or surrenders, like Draupadi and Arjuna. So Draupadi fully surrendered depending on Krishna. Arjuna are using his skills and making arrangements and plans. So we should make arrangements and plans, because ultimately Krishna is our master and we are servants. So we also don't want to disturb Krishna for our protection. On the highest level, like Mother Yashoda, she has such love that she thinks Krishna needs all my protection. This is the epitome of love. Because even if you ask Krishna for protection, you're distracting Krishna to serve you instead of we serving him. But in the conditional stage, yes, we should go to Krishna for protection. And in this way, we will progress more and more understanding our service to Krishna. And when we've completely surrendered, we will have firm faith in Krishna's protection that we wouldn't even bother asking him, because Krishna lovingly would take care of all those that are dependent on him. Let's say example of Prahlad Maharaj. It's interesting, Prahlad Maharaj never asked for protection. He simply chanted the holy names of Krishna, and Krishna made all the arrangements to protect him. So Shishi Radha and Krishna, they are the supreme divine couple, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they are eternally enjoying in the spiritual world. And all the servants of different relationships, different rasas, are engaged in serving the lotus feet. It is described that we don't approach Radha and Krishna to distract them from their divine pastimes. But we in the conditional stage need protection. Therefore, the Lord appears as Lord Nrsingadev, the anger manifestation of Krishna. And Lord Nrsingadev is the personality for protection. So if we want protection, we should go to Krishna in the form of Lord Nrsingadev. And Prabhupada gave us the prayers to Lord Nrsingadev. Namaste Narasingaya Praladaladaine. So these prayers that Srila Prabhupada gave us, we can sing these prayers for protection. So Lord Nrsingadev of Mayapur is famous all over the world for his loving reciprocation with the devotees. He was installed in 1986 after the temple was attacked by dacoits. Lord Chaitanya explains that although very furious, although very ferocious, the lioness is very kind to her cubs. Similarly, although very ferocious to non-devotees like Hiranyakashipu, Lord Nrsingadev is very, very soft and kind to devotees like Prahlad Maharaj. And there's so many pastimes of the devotees being protected in different situations. Why? Because Lord Nrsingadev loves this. This is Lord Nrsingadev's service to the devotees. He loves to protect his devotees. He cannot wait. He's eagerly waiting for the devotees to beg him to come and protect. This is how attached he is, intensely attached to service. Just like the devotee is intensely dedicated and committed to serving the Lord is intensely committed to serving his devotee through protection. So Lord Nrsingadev, he loves when anyone calls his name for protection and glorifies him. As I said, there are many, many pastimes of Lord Nrsingadev protecting the devotees. They've even compiled a book with all the memories and pastimes of different devotees. We can go on for hours and hours sharing. So I'll let Mahavishnu Prabhu, my favorite storyteller, devotee, share one pastime of Lord Nrsingadev protecting the devotees in Germany.
So there was one devotee who was doing book distribution in some parts of Germany. In Germany, it is not open. Sometimes people would not like religious things to be conducted in the open streets. So they used to go for book distribution, and they used to go house to house. Sometimes they used to park their car and open in a lot parking lot, or they used to stand on a road where this malls or some things are there where people come out and go in. There they used to stand and they used to distribute the books. So this devotee was going in an area where there were shopping streets. So men and women, they're trying to go around, purchase various items and all. So he heard some sounds coming, some screaming coming. People, men and women are running around, screamings were coming. As he was going more closer, he saw there was a group of crowd, and he saw one person, crazy person, lunatic person. He was having one leather belt, and he was beating people who was coming across him. So whoever he is coming across, he is taking that belt and giving them a lashing on all the people. No women, no men, no children, nothing. He is beating all the people. So this devotee thought, why I have to go there and get beatings from him? Let me avoid this person. Let me avoid this group. Let me go to a small side street. He went into a small lane. Then from far he could see that person is attracted to this monk because he is an oddly dressed man. Dhoti, kurta, we are odd men out everywhere. So he got attracted to this man and he started chasing him. So he thought, I should maintain peacefulness. I should not run around because devotees are peaceful, calm, no hankering, no bothering. So he was slowly moving, but that person was fastly chasing. So he thought, let me avoid this person. Let me go to one lady who is standing there. He went there and he said, hello madam, would you like to see some book? Then when he was trying to talk to her, see, like I'm talking to that lady. Suddenly that lady's expression became like fearful because this person is standing behind him and gave him one dhakka. He fell down and he stood on him and he raised his hand to beat him with that belt. And devotees don't know anything about the law, anything but the Lord. Then the devotee started the last option. He started praying Namaste Narasimhaya. Suddenly his hand freezes in the air. His hand is not coming. He's shouting, I want to beat you, but hand is not coming down, belt is not coming down. In a moment, suddenly there was one big car, police car with 12 people coming out, captured him, put him down with his face down, started beating him with all their strength. After a few minutes, he was taken into the car and he was driven away. Then this devotee got up and he was seeing all the people were amazed. What is this happened? Suddenly this person wanted to beat and he could not beat. What happened? Then the devotee saying, cinema khatam ho gaya, आ जाओ books ले लो, जो impact आपको भी ऐसा मिलने का है, ले लो book ले लो. Like if you also become Krishna conscious, there is an opportunity that Lord will also protect you in circumstances like this. This is a cinema ho gaya, chalo aa jao. These are the important books by which you can also get protected. In that way he started selling devotees that book. So Lord is there. Need not be that he has to be visible to us. But when devotees are in their distress, Lord comes in means and ways to protect the devotees. That is the assurance of the Lord. In every scripture, that Lord gives that commitment. Kaunteya pratijanahi name bhakta pranashyati. So our thing is, are we sincerely committing for the service? So we do our duty, Lord does his duty. So everything is left to us. We should take that commitment. We should take this opportunity to preach. Then all the things, what is destined for us will automatically be given to us. And we'll be given more and more opportunity to preach and engage in devotion. So there was one devotee.
So we simply continue dedicating our life to the Supreme Lord. The Lord will protect us when the need arises. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur shares 4 songs that I'm going to cover in this regard. And we'll read a translation of the 4 songs, and then we'll go through one of the songs. So the first song that he shares, I know how your divine feet are a refuge free from all sorrow and fear, eternally full of sweet nectar. At the soles of those lotus feet, I surrender myself, all I possess, and all I possesses. O Lord, there is no other protection but you in this world of birth and death. At last I know myself to be your eternal servant, whose maintenance you have assured. Life before, without you, held nothing but sorrow. Now I live free from all misery. Lakshmi desires such a place at your lotus feet, executed austerities. Only after securing a place by your lotus feet did Lord Shiva attain his Shivatva, or quality of auspiciousness. Upon obtaining those lotus feet, Lord Brahma became successful in life, and the great sage Narada Muni held those lotus feet to his heart. Your lotus feet drive away all fear. Having held them onto my head, I dance in great ecstasy, singing their glories. Your lotus feet will deliver Bhaktivinoda from the perils of worldly journey. So really taking shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, this is true perfection. And as Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, there's nectar there, will be blissful, free from miseries, free from fear. Such a wonderful opportunity, such a wonderful position to have the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. A devotee of the Lord is always fearless because of the protection given by the Lord. Second song, who can protect that person whom you wish to slay? The 3 worlds are obedient to your will. The gods, headed by Brahma, are your countless servants and stand ready to execute your command. By your will, the planets exercise their auspicious and inauspicious influences. Illness, grief, death, and fear occur by your will. Your command is all-powerful. In fear of you, the wind blows, and the sun and moon and all others perform their allotted duties. You are the Supreme Lord and the Supreme Spirit, the Supreme above all. Your residence is in the heart of your loving devotees. You are eternally pure. All your desires are fulfilled. Your name is Bhaktavatsa, for you are very affectionate to the Vaishnavas. You are the eternal Lord of your loving devotees who can slay that person. Who can slay that person whom you wish to protect? You are the laws of all laws. O Lord, you are the eternal servant. O Lord, your eternal servant Bhaktivinoda has bowed down at your lotus feet, O Master. He cherishes the faith that you will surely protect him from all dangers. Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personhood of Godhead, is the prime protector of Brahmanical culture and the cows. Third song. Now you'll see Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in these songs. The first 2 are related to the conditional stage. Now he's sharing on the spiritual platform, and then the 4th song is practically in the spiritual world, in Goloka Vrindavan. And even there, there is protection, but of a different type, which Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur shares. Surrendering to you, lifted from me the burden of false pride. No longer will I try to secure my own well-being. O Lord, I am confident of your protection, for like one of your cows and calves, I am your treasured property. O Madhava, I see you leading your herds to the pastures on the bank of the Yamuna. You call them by gently playing your flute. By slaying giant demons such as Aga and Baka, you will always provide full protection, O Gokul Kana. Fearless and confident of your protection, I will drink the water of the Yamuna. The Kalya serpent's venom poisoned the Yamuna's water, yet that poison will not act. You will purify the Yamuna, and by such heroic deeds enhance our faith. You who are called Govinda and Gopal will surely protect me by swallowing the forest fire. When Indra, the king of gods, send torrents of rain, you will counteract his malice and protect us by lifting mighty Govardhan hill. When our four-headed Brahma steals your coward boyfriends and calves, then too you will surely protect me, O Gokul Hari. Bhaktivinoda is now the property of Gokul, your holy abode. O Keshava, kindly protect him with care. So now in the material world, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying your lotus feet are the supreme shelter for supreme protection. In the spiritual world, with Krishna performing pastimes right in Bhoma Leela, where Krishna is performing pastime, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is there now as a perfect servant, and through all the situations and Leelas, Krishna is there ultimately protecting. And then the last song, now he is in his eternal spiritual form, and there also Krishna through his associates protect. Prabhupada in a letter says, as soon as a devotee endeavors to serve Krishna, Krishna immediately wants to help that devotee. Krishna will certainly protect and maintain you. So you'll see repeatedly again and again this conviction is there in so many of these prayers that Krishna will protect. Krishna is infallible. He will always protect. So the last song, gone is the vanity of male egoism, O Kana. Now I am your faithful maidservant. O Lord of Radha, in the groves of Vrija, I will perform devotional service as a follower of one of your Sakhis, one of the Sakhis. I will string together a necklace of forest flowers, and tulsi buds shall be the jewels of that necklace. With utmost care, I will place the garland in the hands of that confidential devotee, and she will take it with affection. Then she will place the garland around both your necks, while I watch in wonder from afar. The confidant will then say to me, quote, listen, O beautiful one, you should remain in this grove as my attendant, unquote. Daily, she's continue to speak. Daily you shall string together beautiful garlands that will enchant Radha and Krishna. The responsibility of your maintenance shall be mine. My cottage is the grove. My cottage in the grove is yours. When I serve Radha and Madhava, you will attend behind me. After preparing tambula and bringing camphor, you will give them to me, knowing me to be yours. Bhaktivinoda, having heard all these instructions, bowed down at the lotus feet of that confidential Sakhi. So in his eternal spiritual form, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is offering this song, and we see even there we are under protection. So eternally we are safe and completely sound at the shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. A devotee knows that even at his death, Krishna will protect him. The real test of our devotional service will be at that time. One time, Srila Prabhupada was going to be driven by a devotee in a car. So the devotee was sitting in the driver's seat, ready to drive Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada got into the car, sat in the seat. And now the devotee is waiting for Srila Prabhupada to fasten his seatbelt. So the devotee told Srila Prabhupada, please put your seatbelt on. And Prabhupada responded, Krishna is my seatbelt. So we shouldn't imitate, but for Prabhupada, Krishna was his seatbelt. Totally confident, no fear at all. This is the pure devotee. They've totally surrendered to Krishna and fearlessly have taken shelter of those lotus feet, and they have full confidence that yes, you take shelter of the lotus feet, there can be no impact, no negative impact. It's all auspiciousness, every time, everywhere. So let's go over this song.
তুমি তোমারি বেজারে কে তারে রাখিতে পারে তব ইচ্ছা বশ ত্রিভুবন তুমি তোমারি বেজারে কে তারে রাখিতে পারে তব ইচ্ছা ব্রহ্মায়াদি দেবগণ তব দাসয়গণ করে তব আজ্ঞার ব্রহ্মায়াদি দেবগণ তব দাসয়গণ করে তব আজ্ঞার তব ইচ্ছা মতে যত গ্রহগণ অবিরত শুভাশুভ ফল করে না তব ইচ্ছা মতে যত গ্রহগণ অবিরত শুভাশুভ করে না রোগ শোক মৃত্যু ভয় তব ইচ্ছা মতে হয় তব আজ্ঞা সদা বলবান রোগ শোক মৃত্যু ভয় তব ইচ্ছা মতে হয় তব আজ্ঞা সদা বলবান তব ভয়ে বায়ু চন্দ্র সূর্য সমুদয় নিয়মিত কার্য করে তব ভয়ে বায়ু চন্দ্র সূর্য সমুদয় নিয়মিত কার্য করে তুমি তো পরমেশ্বর পরব্রহ্ম পরাৎপর তব বাস ভকত অন্তরে তুমি তো পরমেশ্বর পরব্রহ্ম পরাৎপর তব বাস ভকত অন্তরে সদা শুদ্ধ সিদ্ধকার ভকত বৎসল না ভকত জনের নিত্য স্বামী সদা শুদ্ধ সিদ্ধকার ভকত বৎসল না ভকত জনের নিত্য স্বামী তুমি তো রাখিবে যারে কে তারে মারিতে পারে সকল বিধির বিধি তুমি তুমি তো রাখিবে যারে, কে তারে মারিতে পারে, সকল বিধির বিধি তুমি। তোমার চরণে দান করিয়াছে প্রণিপাত, ভকতি বিনোদ তব দান। তোমার চরণে দান করিয়াছে প্রণিপাত, ভকতি বিনোদ তব দান। বিপদ হইতে স্বামী অবশ্য তাহারে তুমি, রক্ষিবে তাহার এ বিশ্বাস। বিপদ হইতে স্বামী অবশ্য তাহারে তুমি, রক্ষিবে তাহার এ বিশ্বাস। তুমি তো মারিবে যারে, কে তারে রাখিতে পারে, তব ইচ্ছা বশ ত্রিভুবন। তুমি তো মারিবে যারে, কে তারে রাখিতে পারে, তব ইচ্ছা বশ ত্রিভুবন। তুমি তো মারিবে যারে, কে তারে রাখিতে পারে, তব ইচ্ছা বশ ত্রিভুবন।
Such a wonderful song. If you wish to slay someone, then who could protect them? If Krishna wants to kill anyone, there is absolutely no one in creation that can protect that person. Why? Because there is no one more powerful than Krishna. And because there is no one more powerful than Krishna, if Krishna wants to kill you, there is nobody that can protect you. The three worlds are subservient to your will. The demigods headed by Lord Brahma are your countless servants who stand ready to execute your command. So just see, Krishna's got an army. He's got millions and billions of demigods all ready to execute his will. If Krishna wants to intervene, he just has to think or say say the command, and he's got servants to execute. What about all his potencies and energies? This is Krishna. So when we take shelter of the Supreme Lord, we should understand we're not taking shelter of some Tom, Dick, and Harry. No, we're taking shelter of the most powerful, most divine, most compassionate, most glorious personality in creation, no second to none. This is Krishna. He can protect just by his thinking. This is Krishna. By your will, the planets incessantly exercise their auspicious and inauspicious influence. Illness, grief, death, and fear occur by your will. Your command is all powerful. So we don't want illness, we don't want grief, we don't want death, we don't want fear. It's all under Krishna's control. If he says no, it's no. They cannot do anything. They're totally subservient. The planets are all controlled by Krishna's will. Just consider, this planet is spinning at such a high speed. We also spinning, but yet we're not flying. We're stationed. This is Krishna's potency. Krishna's allowing even those who are not surrendering to him to be fully secured and protected. He's created the force of gravity so that we can at least be grounded. Otherwise, you could imagine if there was no law of gravity, everything is flying around. You can't even do anything. But Krishna, even for those who are rebellious against him, keeps them grounded. That's his protection. So he is protecting even those who are inimical towards him. Why? Why wouldn't he protect those who surrender to his lotus feet? In fear of you, the wind blows, the sun and the moon rise and set, all performing their regulated tasks. You are the supreme Lord, the ultimate spirit, transcendently situated beyond even the beyond. You reside, your residence is in the heart of your loving devotees. So not only is Krishna in control of all the forces in material creation, but Krishna is also residing in the devotee's heart. He's residing in every living entity's heart. So if you need protection right there and there, Krishna is instantly able to assist because he's there with you. It's not like you have to press a panic button and then the security needs to come. And they generally come after the incident is over. This is the protection we pay for. But the protection that Krishna can provide, it's free. It's guaranteed. It's instant. It's all powerful. This is Krishna's protection. Why wouldn't an intelligent person surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna? You are eternally pure. All your desires are already fulfilled. Your name is Bhaktavatsal, for you are the eternally affectionate Lord of your dear devotees. If you wish to protect someone, then who could possibly slay them? So in the first verse, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, if you want to kill someone, nobody can protect him. Here he's saying in the last verse, if you want to protect someone, nobody can slay them. So this is the wonderful prayer. You are the laws of all laws. Krishna is the most beautiful, most powerful, most supreme shelter to give us protection. Your servant Bhaktivinoda has bowed down submissively at your lotus feet. O Lord, he cherishes with faith, O Master, that you will surely protect him from all dangers. So that faith, that vishwas, avasya tahare to me. He's got that firm faith that yes, Krishna is the supreme protector. I've taken shelter of his lotus feet. Krishna will protect. Therefore, the pure devotee is carefree. Abhay Charannara. He's fearless. He can go in any situation, anywhere, because he's taken shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. And you see, Prabhupada never feared anyone. Never feared anyone. Even when we come to big politicians, etc., Prabhupada was fearless. One time, I think it was in Paris or France, they had arranged for these high-profile personalities, mayor and people from the government to come see Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada was sitting there, the seats were arranged, so these high-profile people came in. The devotees stood up because it's high-profile people. Prabhupada was sitting. So he told Prabhupada, you have to stand up. Prabhupada said, to who? It's like, to who? For who? It's like, Krishna, I only stand up for Krishna. It's not like this. Who they? Prabhupada is fearless because you've taken shelter of Krishna, just like if a demigod comes and says, oh, you worship me. Why should I worship you? I've taken shelter of Krishna. how I'm going to flood whole, I'm going to kill your whole family members. Go ahead. If Krishna so desires, so be it. But Krishna is my protector. He will do the needful. Indra learned it hard way. He thought he could destroy Vrindavan for 7 days, 7 nights. He did not even touch a blade of grass, cause a fraction of harm to any living entity in Vrindavan. This is Krishna. So we have to have firm faith in the protection of Krishna. And that faith is cultivated and built by association of those that have faith. And when Krishna protects, I'm sure many of you, let's see in the chat, have any of you in the chat experienced a miraculous protection from Krishna in some situation? Just like we were doing traveling Sankirtan. While I share the story with you, you can let me know in the chat if you had some form of protection from Krishna. We were traveling, myself and my wife were traveling to Stanton. We would go traveling Sankirtan. And I was driving. It's basically a one lane. And I'm busy driving. And we had a tape recorder. Those times, the tape recorder, we had those cassettes. So she tried to, put the cassette in, or change the cassette. And for some reason, the cassette wasn't, going in or not working. So I'm busy driving, and I thought, okay, let me try to assist. So I put my hand in, trying to assist, but my attention, for a few seconds, went to the cassette. And for that few seconds, I got distracted. I didn't notice that my arm, because I moved my hand, my arm also slightly turned the steering wheel, and I started driving off the road onto the gravel road, the pavement area. So, I finished attending to the tape, and then I put in that few seconds, I put my eyes back on the road, and I was shocked. I saw I was on the gravel. Now I panicked, been in conditional stage. And I turned the steering, but I turned the steering too sharp to get onto the road. While Madhuri was chanting Radhe, Radhe, I turned the steering and going at 120. All of a sudden, I turned the steering so sharp that the vehicle reversed. And if you know about momentum, your car is going 120. Because the car reversed, the momentum now goes reverse, which means the car still, the momentum is still in the same direction, but now because the car is reversed, the momentum is in reverse, and the car now slids at 120 across both roads to the opposite oncoming lane. We can't see the cars on the oncoming lane. We're chanting, and all of a sudden we slid right through the opposite side onto the other side, gravel road, and it slids, and all of a sudden stops. We look around and we see a huge pole right behind the bumper, an inch away from practically being split apart. So Krishna protected. So in this way, I'm sure there are many devotees that experience. Sometimes you don't even know that Krishna has protected you. So we should have firm faith that Krishna protects us. His Holiness Tamil Krishna Maharaj shared with Prabhupada that one time 13 devotees, they were going preaching into a forest area. And while preaching, some aborigines, man-eaters, caught them, all 13 devotees, and brought them to the camp for Sunday love feast. They were man-eaters. And the devotees are saying, please, please, let us free. They are man-eaters, cannibals. Say, please, let us free. And they said, no, you can pray to whoever you want or do whatever you want. Today we're having a love feast. We are happy. So then the devotees started chanting. Namaste Narasingaya Praladalada Daine. As they started chanting the prayers to Lord Nrsingadev, as soon as they completed chanting Lord Nrsingadev's pranam prayers that Srila Prabhupada taught the devotees in the early days, there was a loud roar. When these Aborigines, cannibal man-eaters, heard this loud roar, they're in the jungle, so they know the wild roar of lions. But this roar was so loud and so terrifying that the main man, he said, this is not just a roar, this is like a Mahal roar, like a row, we better leave. And immediately they left, they dissipated. So we can see by the protection Lord Nrsingadev, the devotees were protected. Prabhupada tells us Krishna will protect. Now, Krishna will protect, you don't really need to ask him. There's no harm in asking. Srila Prabhupada said, when you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. It means, oh Lord, oh energy Lord, please engage me in your service. But at the point of, close encounter with death, a life-threatening situation, one may not be advanced enough to say, oh Lord, oh energy Lord, please engage me in your service. At that point, because of the life-threatening situation, it's not about service, it's about protection. Your bodily identification manifests and you want protection. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that's not against the principles of pure devotion. That's not against Saranagati. That's in line because it's not in a normal situation. It's an extraordinary, it's a life-threatening situation. So you can ask for protection. But when you have firm faith, then don't even need to bother. Prabhupada says here.
No, I mean, instead of praying to demigods to give me something, saying whatever you decide, Krishna.
A devotee never prays to Krishna. They had to undergo so much trouble. Still, they never pray to Krishna. Yeah. They know that Krishna will give us ultimately protection. Let us do our duty. Tattenu kampasa sumikshamana. When a devotee is in difficulty, he is not disturbed. He thinks it is Krishna's wish that I should suffer like this. It is not suffering, it is my pleasure. Just like when a patient is undergoing surgical operation, there is pain, but he knows it is better for me. Therefore he agrees, yes sir, go on with your knife. So when you surrender to Krishna, and Krishna says that I shall give you protection, so even in our distressed condition, we must know that we are being protected by Krishna. We should not be distressed. Because we create so-called distress and happiness. Actually, this world is distress. Here, the so-called happiness is also distress. So why a devotee should be disturbed by distress condition?
So Krishna said you protect, so we don't even need to worry. Even in our distressed condition, Krishna is protecting. So therefore we just say, thank you, my Lord, I deserve worse. You're so kind, you minimized. And I'll continue serving Krishna. So another time, there was, a few years ago, there was a terrorist attack at the Taj Mahal hotel. And it is described, and this was in Delhi, and it's described that the terrorists, they would always go to a higher floor. And from that higher floor, they would throw grenades. These were smoke grenades. They would smoke the whole place so that the police would not be able to see anything, even from a foot away. and then they would open fire, and in this way practically kill all the police that were coming. So in this is how they were attacking. And it so happened that a devotee who was a policeman happened to be in that situation, and he was with his two friends, and they were going to the one floor, and all of a sudden the smoke grenades were thrown, and there was smoke all over. They couldn't see left, they couldn't see right. They started moving in different places, and practically the whole place was smoked. And then all they could hear was gunfire. Practically the terrorists were shooting wild. When the devotee heard the shooting, and he couldn't see left, right, couldn't see his friends, couldn't see what's in front, couldn't see anything, totally smoked. He remembered at that point, that on my phone, I got the prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev. So immediately he took his phone and played the kirtan. And he started praying to Lord Nrsimhadev, my Lord, please protect me. I can't see anything here, please. I surrender to you, please protect me. And he's hearing this fire shooting. And then all of a sudden, after some time, everything settled. Then the smoke settled. And as the smoke settled, he looked right, he looked left. He could see his friend on the one side completely shot with bullets. Saw his other friend dead completely with bullets. And he looked in front. He was completely protected. And right in front was a pillar. And that pillar had taken all the bullets of the terrorists. So just as Lord Nrsimhadev came out of the pillar, the Lord made arrangements that he be protected by the pillar. So this really strengthened the faith of the devotee in Lord Nrsimhadev and his protection. Prabhupada shares with us that Krishna is always anxious to give protection. So I'm going to share a small clip from a lecture. And Srila Prabhupada starts the lecture by talking about the Vedic system, where the wife is always protected by the husband, and the dependents of the family are protected by the elders. Similarly, we are also dependent on Krishna, and Krishna will do his duty of protecting.
So we should remain tadadhin, always under Krishna. That is our perfection. If we remain, just like in Western countries, they rebel. If a woman is advised to remain under the control of the husband, that is an insult to them. They cannot tolerate it. But actually, we see in India that a wife who remains under the guidance of the husband, she is happy. That's a practical fact. That is a practical fact. And therefore, in the Manu Samhita, it is advised, Nasriyam satantam arhati. Woman should be always protected. That is it. Protection does not mean negligence. No, protection means to give him all facilities. That is protection. Just like father gives protection to the children, that does not mean neglecting. Similarly, the woman should be protected. It is not that neglecting. They misunderstand. In the Western countries, maybe there is a misbehavior, but actually we have seen, it's still going on in India. The woman is, that is the ideal given by Lord Ramchandra. How woman is given protection by the husband. Sita Devi was kidnapped. Ramchandra is the Supreme Lord. He could have married many thousands of Sita, but as the dutiful husband, to rescue one wife, he killed the whole family of Ram. This is protection. He killed the whole family of he became, this is. So, woman requires protection, and the husband is responsible to give protection. The father is responsible to give protection. And the elderly children, they are responsible to give protection. So, we are Prakriti Purusha. So Krishna is the Purusha. He is the protector of all living entities. Yesterday, Vrittanugrahakataram. Just like a father is always anxious to see his children are well protected. Similarly, Krishna is also always anxious to give protection to his subordinates. But if the subordinate denounce Krishna, I don't want your protection, then suffer your karma. That we are doing. Those who are in the material world, they are suffering. Why? They have given up the protection of Krishna. They are thinking that we can protect ourselves. What is the use of Krishna? So this is called dharma saglani. This is deviation from the natural way of life when you give up the protection. So our Krishna consciousness movement is again go back to that protection. Go back to home, back to home. Thank you very much.
And that brings us to the end of session 4. Having firm faith in the conviction, firm faith that Krishna will give us his supreme protection. At every point in our life, Krishna will be there. Krishna is Bhaktavatsali, loves his devotees, and therefore Krishna feel pain when his devotees are pained, and Krishna will always be there to protect his devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Are there any questions or comments anyone has? Okay, you are able to unmute as well. Rasastali, your hand is up.
Hi, Krishna Prabhuji. I was
Hare Krishna.
thinking of the time when definitely the Lord was protecting. Pitambar had come from work and he was rushing to go to the post office to go get some mail he was expecting, and he said, "Come with me." And we were going, and then I told him, "I just want to go and see the Lord today. Let's go and take darshan of the Lord." And he says, "But you're not wearing devotional attire, you're wearing a dress, and you never ever go to temple in a dress." So I said, "No, I know, but I just want to go and see the Lord. Just take me today." So we went to the temple, then we went to Gora Arti, and then when we came back home and we pulled up into our flat yard, then as we were coming out of the car, there was a person that held Pitambar up at gunpoint. And then he grabbed his, he said, "Give me your phone, give me your wallet." And he took that. And then I didn't realize another person had come by my side. And then he opened the door. And then I didn't even know that he had a gun at my head as well. So we were both held at gunpoint, both of us sitting in the front. And then I was holding my beads and I was chanting on my beads. So he thought it was a hand, like a bag or something of money. So he grabbed the bead bag, and then I held on still to my beads. So he grabbed my bead bag, and then the person we both would have been attacked, because like Pitambar was getting a little bit like, to retaliate. And then someone on the top floor had seen that I was being held by gunpoint, because he could see from that direction. He couldn't see where Pintish was, because the person was blocking. So he immediately screamed, "I got a gun, I'll shoot, get out from here." And then they immediately ran away, and they didn't fire at both of us being held at gunpoint. So that was definitely some intervention by the Lord, that like I went to temple and holding on to my beads. And so definitely that was mercy and protection of the Lord.
Yes. And one devotee was in a similar situation. He got held with gunpoint, hijacked, and he was freed. And then he went to Bhakti Charumaj and he told Bhakti Charumaj, what had happened. And he said that Krishna protected me. And Srila Bhakti Charumaj looked at him and said, what about Srila Prabhupada? And then the devotee thought about it. He said, actually, Srila Prabhupada protected me. So this is another interesting perspective. We say, Krishna protects me, Krishna will protect me, Krishna protected me in this situation, but it may, in all circumstances, it may be that Srila Prabhupada actually is protecting us. Because Shakshat Daritve Nashamasta Shastre, the pure devotee is not different from Krishna. He's the most confidential associate of Krishna. It's Krishna's manifestation, mercy manifestation, externally manifested. So Prabhupada, no doubt, because we're servants of Prabhupada, we've taken shelter of Prabhupada's mission and his lotus feet. Then just as Krishna is always there to protect, Srila Prabhupada is always there to protect. So yes, Srila Prabhupada is our true savior as well. All right, let's see, there are a few comments. Surasastali said, Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for for such a sweet word of nectar. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, who has given us so much mercy. All glories to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and for his beautiful song and heartfelt songs of Sharanagati, and hearing Guru Maharaj sing is even lovely. Yes. Madhadaramita says, Hare Krishna Prabhu. This is, yes, Shri Kalandi, thank you for being here. So one time I came from school, there was one at the daycare I used to go to. So the driver dropped me off and left. Then I panicked, realizing no one was there. Then eventually I chanted Nrsimha's pranams. And then after 2 minutes, he came back. I was so shocked. I asked him, what made you come back? And then he said, I am Jesus, and simply laughed. So that was miraculous. Yes, Krishna can. In fact, it's wonderful to hear all these different stories. I read one pastime of a devotee that was protected by a huge dog in an alley. And that dog came from nowhere, just appeared and then protected her and then disappeared. So Krishna can appear in different ways and instill faith in this way. Profana Prabhu says, this year was the worst year within my job, was at stake so much that I shouldn't have had salary and means of living had it not been for the protection of the Lord. About 2 weeks eating scantily. All the time I had to write emails to explain my situation. All the 2 big boards never reacted punitively to my situation. Till now, I'm still under the Lord's protection. I wrote board exams and I'm confident all is well by the Lord's protection. Thank you, Lord Shri Krishna. Yes, Krishna will always be there. Now, sometimes we may pray for protection and the Lord apparently may not be protecting us. But the Lord's protection may not be the way we think we want protection. See, the Lord is most intelligent. He's far more intelligent than everyone's intelligence collectively put together, multiplied infinity times, because he's the Lord. That's his position. So Krishna knows best what to do in every single situation. You may think you know best. That's the problem. Your thinking may not be the best. So we simply pray and say, my Lord, do whatever you feel is best for me. And Krishna will always do what's best. So sometimes Krishna may put us in a situation that we don't want to be, and at the same time we want to come out of, yet we have to go through that because Krishna knows that is very, very conducive for you, and therefore that's how I am protecting you. So Sharanagati really means we have firm faith that, my Lord, whatever you arrange, whatever, whether it's good or bad, whether it's suffering or not suffering, whether it's comfortable or not comfortable, I'm always eternally under your shelter and protection. Krishna protects through discomfort. Like Prabhupada gave the example, the surgeon, he cuts you, yet he's cutting you to heal you, to protect you from further pain, damage. So like that, Krishna always will do that for us. We take that Sharanagati, surrender, and let Krishna, whatever situation Krishna wants to put us to. Look at the Pandavas. They went through so much difficulty, yet they never complained, never asked Krishna why. It's unfair. They knew there's a reason behind this. We don't know what the reason is. We take it as our purification. We take it as Krishna's mercy and continue our surrender. Mother Karuna Radhika Devidas says, Hare Krishna, I recently started dressing Srila Prabhupada in ISKCON Center, but then that our manager announced we had to go back to the office. But then I got a call for a new job closer to Santon. Krishna just made arrangements. I can continue my service. Yeah, so this way Krishna also answers prayer, makes arrangements so that we can continue surrendering. Hemavati says, Hare Krishna, we have been experiencing fear and worry because of health situation of a beloved family member whose faith in Krishna is constant. Sharanagati series is helping me mitigate the fear I've been feeling. I realized in this way, Krishna is protecting. Yes. Krishna answers our prayers, does different makes different arrangements. And for those who have taken shelter, Krishna will never forsake them. Nimya says, Hare Krishna, but thank you very much. Thank you. Shalomi says, Hare Krishna, but if Krishna is always protecting us, why would we want to call him for protection? Would Krishna not protect us anyway? Yes, and as Prabhupada said, Krishna will always protect, even if you don't ask, but Krishna loves your call. Krishna loves to hear the heart calling. Just like a child, when the child internally knows that he's always got full protection of his parents, of his mother. But when the child is put into difficulty and the child cries out to the mother feels even more happy. That bond becomes even more cherished and more stronger. So like that, Krishna also loves us to call out to him. So it's one sign of greater surrender or exhibition of one's surrender, calling out. The Hare Krishna mantra is a call. In your mind, you can chant, that's glorious. But when you call out, it's also more powerful. All right. So it's one exchange, loving exchange. Krishna knows, but he likes you to call out. Madhachana Siri says, Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for everything you shared, really inspiring, thank you. Amrit Bika says, Hare Krishna, after listening to your experience, I humbly like to relate what consider Lord Krishna's protection. Last month, I was traveling to Stanton, and like Prabhu, I took my eyes off the road to place my water bottle on the side of the door. My car went across the road in front of an oncoming traffic and onto the gravel and hit the rock and overturned. I just chanted Hare Krishna. I found myself with airbags all around. I came out of the vehicle and was helped by a person who just saw what happened. I came out without a scratch. Needless to say, my car was a write-off. My faith in surrender is much stronger now. Due to Srila Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. Yes, and it's amazing. We would, think, oh well, my car's a write-off, but that experience intensified your faith. Therefore, you would be willing to sacrifice hundreds and hundreds of cars and write off hundreds and hundreds of cars for that experience. Because that faith that one gets when one goes through such experiences, that faith and that experience you keep within your heart, and there is no price, that it's priceless. There is no value to that. So Krishna gives us these different experiences, and we cherish that, and it builds our faith stronger and stronger, and we know that the Lord's there. Thank you for sharing that, Amrit Bhai.
Absolutely, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Really, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Mother Lorraine says, thank you for the nectar. With awesomeness, with awareness, we notice how the Lord is protecting us every day. Simple things like you had to use a different route, an appointment is delayed. The Lord is doing what is best for us. Yes. One devotee shared he was going for a program and he's always on time, few minutes scheduled. So they were on the journey, and it so happened that there was a tire puncture. So they had to park off and deal with the tire puncture. And that delayed them like 30 minutes. Then they continued on the road, and they noticed that near the destination of where they're supposed to jump off the highway was a huge accident with so many cars involved. And they inquired what had happened and when this had happened, and they said, well, just 30 minutes ago, this situation unfortunately transpired. So many cars practically clashed, and it was disastrous. And the devotee immediately remembered, yes, see, Krishna delayed us for exactly 30 minutes so that we have a puncture, we fix the tire. Otherwise, we would have been right there in the middle of that disaster. So you're correct. Krishna makes arrangements and delays different situations. Another route we have to take. Like yesterday, we saw the one clip how the devotees were taking different routes. They were forced to take different routes. But why? Because Krishna's got another plan. He wants to give his mercy to a devotee. I'll share another pastime in relation to Krishna making plans. Because Super Soul is there. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says Super Soul is in our heart. Krishna is in our heart. So this devotee, he wasn't a devotee. He had received Science of Civilization, and he read Science of Civilization, and he was so impressed, happy to read the philosophy. And at the back, he wanted to visit the temple. So at the back, we have lists of temples, but the address of the temple had changed. So in Pretoria, this address was not correct, and he couldn't get through. So I said, damn, can't find the devotees. So anyway, and it wasn't like internet or you could go to a website, etc. It wasn't those days. So anyway, he forgot about it. And then what happened is, because his desire was still burning, he wanted to meet the devotees. One day, he would go jump into the bus, jump off at a certain intersection, and then go across 2 blocks and go to work. That was his normal routine. So one day he jumped into the bus and jumped off at the junction, at the intersection, and internally he had this, like some force, some impression or some coercion that tells him, go left. And he's thinking, intellectually, he's thinking, I need to go across. Why am I, like somebody's telling me, go left, go left. So he thought, okay, so he walked left, crossed the road, another left, right. He started following his intuition. And all of a sudden, after some time, right in front of him were devotees distributing books. He was so happy. He ran to them and said, I've been looking for you all the time. And then he got the address of the temple. So just see how Krishna inspired him. Instead of taking his normal route to work, Krishna inspired him to bring him to the shelter of his lotus feet. So yes, Krishna makes all these wonderful arrangements. Thank you very much for all the devotees' feedback and sharing. Mukund, all yours.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for the class. So we'll go out to take some Gomata darshan. Tonight we'll be feeding them some carrots. Okay.
Hare Krishna
Veronica. Thank you so much, devotees. Hope you enjoyed the darshan. We'll see you again tomorrow evening. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna.